Hello, good afternoon. This is David Slater talking to you. Today is my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of February 22nd through February 26th, 2021. Okay, and what I like to do here is I will look at all the major Forex currency pairs, okay, on a 30-minute time frame, just so we can see what happened this past week, okay? And then I'll analyze that and then compare that to higher time frames, such as the 4-hour daily and weekly chart, okay? And then I will try to give you my analysis of what I think is going to happen this coming week. Okay, so to begin with, like I said in last week's video, that the US dollar is starting to show signs of recovery, and that is definitely going to be going up. Well, didn't quite do that, okay? And we saw more or less range of markets this week, which I also kind of predicted, but US dollar is very sluggish right now. It's very slow to recover. And I'm going to show you that here in a minute, okay? But for the most part, these currency pairs were caught more or less in a range of market, which there's a lot of turbulence in the market right now. There's a lot of competition between all the currency pairs. Pretty much every major currency pair is fighting to gain strength right now, okay? So please keep that in mind. So for the US dollar to make a huge comeback is definitely going to take some time. And like I said, we're waiting for a third stimulus package to come out through the U.S. government, because the second stimulus was so small. Now, you know, the Congress, the Senate is trying to push another third stimulus package, which is even bigger, which will pump more money into the U.S. economy, and hopefully that will boost the U.S. dollar, and we will see, the U.S. dollar spike up again. But that's going to take a few weeks at least. Okay. So, begin with here, I have Euro USD pulled up on my chart, as we can see right here, okay? And like I said, more or less was a range of market, right? And the price ended almost exactly where it began, but we do see the price right here drop down and spike back up. We want the Euro USD to go down, okay? It's been wanting to go down for a long time. So the fact that it did drop quite a bit, it came up slightly in the beginning of the week, which I predicted it would, but then it dropped, 1,400 points. That's quite a bit, okay? And then it regained almost all of that, okay, about 1,200 points. So at least 1,000, right? So that's pretty good. I mean, it's stable right now, but we're definitely getting ready for it to drop. As you can see right now on the 30-minute time frame, we have a signal to sell, so it should be dropping this week. All right, so but if we look at the 4-hour chart, let's look at some of the higher time frames to kind of see what's going on, right? Okay, the 4-hour chart, we have a signal to sell. We've had that for a while now, for the last for the last week, right? So we got a strong signal to sell, but it spiked back up, and now it's definitely getting ready to drop. So I feel that now is the time to sell. If we look at the daily chart, okay, the daily chart shows the sell, and the weekly chart shows the sell as well. Okay, so what that means is that now the Euro USD is definitely getting ready to drop. So I would be looking to sell only this week. Okay, keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame. That's fine, but look for sell opportunities only. And at this very moment, you could place a sell trade and close it when you get the next blue arrow on the 30-minute chart, and then repeat the process, okay? But wait for the red arrow, okay? Do not buy, only sell, because like I said, it's going to a downtrend. So we definitely want to be selling this week, okay? Moving on to Great British Pound versus US dollar. Now this one, unfortunately, did gain more than it lost this week, okay? We are definitely waiting for the Great British Pound to drop and the US dollar to go up. But like I said, the US dollar has not been that strong, so this is allowing the Great British Pound to gain traction. And with all the news of Brexit coming out, the Great British Pound is gaining a lot of strength against other currency pairs. Okay, so the Great British Pound has been very strong in the last several months, really. So, but now we're seeing signs of it forming a range of markets, and it's beginning to drop. Okay, so as of right now, it's showing the sell. We did have a spike back up towards the end of the week, and now it hit this strong resistance and it's starting to go back down. So I do feel that the Great British Pound will be dropping this week. If we look at the 4-hour chart, okay, the 4-hour chart has a strong signal to sell. Okay, so we had this big uptrend, and then now it's getting ready to drop. Okay, I know this is not what people have been wanting. So like all this week, the price has been going up. Okay, it hit this point right here, and we all thought it was going to drop, but it actually went up a lot further, which is unfortunate for those who wanted to sell. But at this present point in time, it is definitely showing the signs that it wants to drop. If you look at the daily chart, we have a signal to sell, and a weekly chart as well. And like I said in my previous video, these are all fresh signals, so we do not have a solid downtrend yet. We're still in an uptrend, unfortunately. If you look right here on the weekly chart, okay, we have this wick of the candle here going up like this. If I draw a trend line going up, and we mark the wick of this candle here and the wick of this candle here, we have 1, 2, 3 points, okay, that match up on the trend line. Okay, in order to have a perfect trend line, you need at least 3 points, and here we have a perfect trend line, and what we are marking is the support. Okay, whenever you have an uptrend, remember, you always need to mark your support. So what we need to wait for is for these candles to break below. Okay, I would wait about 2 candles, especially on the daily chart. Wait about 2 candles to break below, and then we can sell long term. Okay, so it's going to take some time before we are officially into a downtrend. I'm guessing probably another week, probably 2 weeks before this really goes into a downtrend. Okay, just because the Great British Pound has been so strong. But now, another question that people are asking me, is it going to go up even higher? And I cannot answer that honestly, but there's a strong chance it could go up, and where it will stop is right here at this previous resistance. Okay, now I'm on the weekly chart. We have resistance here, resistance here. So if it keeps going up, this indicator keeps repainting, there's a possibility it could go that high. I do not think it will go that high, okay, simply because that's a long ways up. Okay, if we get the crosshairs, we're looking at about 3,600 points. That's huge. Okay, and it's going to take a long time for it to reach that level. Okay, it'll probably take a couple weeks. So I do not think we're going to see it go that high. Okay, now if we look right here, the point where it's at right now, if I bring this down to that current point, we see that we have a strong support here. Zoom out a little bit. Strong support here, here, and well, almost there, but I don't really see anywhere else in the past, but definitely form a support here. So whenever a support is broken, it becomes a resistance, and vice versa. So if we, we follow that all the way across back to where we are now, we know we're at a pretty strong level of resistance. Okay, so the only thing is, all these resistance and support levels can and will be broken at some point. So if this breaks and keeps going up higher, then where's the next level of resistance? Okay, next level of resistance is up here. So please note that it is possible this could go much higher, although I really don't think it will. Hopefully this will be going to a long downtrend, and again, it's all dependent on the US dollar. If the US dollar goes up, then this will force the Great British Pound to drop. So what should we do for this week? Okay, I do not feel that there will be any huge gains, okay, since we're at a strong level of resistance right now. Wait a minute, let me look at some of the smaller time frames. Okay, the bigger time frames show the sell, obviously. The 1 hour shows the sell, 30 minutes shows the sell, 15 minute shows the sell, 5 minute, let's see, 5 minute shows the buy, and 1 minute probably shows the buy as well. So so what that means is, at this very moment, we're stuck in a really tight range of market. It's not very little movement. Now this was on Friday, you know, at the close of market, so movement is very small at the end of Friday anyhow. So things are going to start picking up around the London session on Monday. We'll see a lot of movement start acting up. Which way it will go, I honestly do not know, but based on what we're seeing right here, it should be dropping. Okay, so what should we do this week? Okay, if we keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame, I feel that it would be safe to both buy and sell, because like I said, this is definitely going to be going up and down. Okay, we're at a strong level of resistance. It will drop, go back up, drop, go back up. I do not see that this would be going into a downtrend this week. You know, I feel that this would be in a flat range of market for the most part. It may have a slight increase, but for the most part, it should be in a flat range of market. Okay, since we're at a very strong level of resistance right now. Okay, so just keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame, and you can both buy and sell. Very simple, right? Moving on to Australian dollar versus the US dollar. Okay, and this one actually did gain right at the last minute, but for the most part it was in a flat range of market, as you can see, right? So we've been waiting for this to drop for quite some time. So again, this is all dependent on the US dollar. If the US dollar drops, then this is going to get that gain, right? This will have the edge. Australian dollar also is a strong currency, and it is definitely fighting to go up. If we look at the 4-hour chart here, we see that, you know, it did gain at the last minute. Price came to, I think, this point here, and myself and everyone I know thought this was going to a downtrend at that point. Okay, but unfortunately it shot back up even higher, and that's kind of what these banks and brokers do to you, because when you have the masses, everybody selling, then they'll force the price up even higher, so everybody hits their stop loss or has a huge drawdown, right? So this is really unfortunate. But at this very moment, though, it definitely looks like it's going to be dropping this week. If we look on the weekly chart, we have a signal to sell, and the daily and weekly both show to sell. Again, these are fresh signals, so will it really be dropping this week, or will it be gaining? Okay, there is a very strong chance that it could gain some more. Again, it's all dependent on the US dollar. So like I said, as of right now, it's showing to sell. Okay, this is very fresh, and it's really not going into a downtrend yet. So what should we do? Okay, I think it's probably going to go higher. I don't know, but that's just a feeling I have. But what I think we could do is we could both buy and sell. Okay, I would not place any trades on this until at least the New York session on Monday. Okay, because we don't know what the US dollar is going to do. Okay, it looks right now that it's going to drop, and it probably will, and then we could catch it on the close it when it hit the blue arrow. That's fine. But like I said, wait until the New York session and see what the market's doing at that point. If this drops and you get signal to buy, then you could buy, and vice versa. Okay, I would probably look more towards buying than selling, just because of the way the behavior has been lately. Okay, but yes, you can both buy and sell for the Australian dollar versus US dollar. It should be perfectly safe, since we're at we're at a very strong level of resistance right now. Let's move on to USD CHF. Okay, US dollar versus the Swiss franc, and we see here that this dollar is actually gaining. Okay, so that's a good sign. It is not not as strong like I wanted it to be, but it did gain some, and then towards the end of the week slacked back off. So is it going to continue going up? Right now we have a signal to buy, which is a good sign, actually, a very good sign. If you look at the 4-hour chart, we have a signal to sell. Okay, so what's going to happen? We don't know. It more than likely will drop this week. Okay, if we look at the daily chart, we have a signal to buy, and the weekly chart shows the buy as well. So we know the bigger time frame showed a buy, but this 4-hour chart is kind of the problem child right now. So where will it form a red arrow? Okay, that's impossible for me to tell, but I mean, where will it form a blue arrow? I'm just looking in the past here. You see, it could form a blue arrow here. Okay, it is very possible, but based on the past here, we see that the blue arrows are always lower than the previous red, right? Here we had a lot of up and downs, and then finally it made a blue arrow. So if we look here where it is right now, it's going up, but what's going to happen is it's going to go back down. It's going to have to go back down, probably to this point. Okay, I don't know. Probably to this point here, where it will form a blue arrow. All right. So what does that mean? Okay. I don't see any trend line. If I draw a trend line like this, that could be a trend line. Let me check. Yeah, I don't know. That's not really good, but all the bigger time frames shown to go up. Okay, the 4-hour shows the drop, the 1 hour shows the drop, 30 minutes shows the buy. So overall, this week, the 15 minute shows to sell, 5 minutes shows to sell, and the 1 minute shows to buy, right? So what I think is going to happen is, more or less this week, we're going to see a flat range of market with the price dropping. Okay, so we can expect to see 1 hour shows to sell, 30 minutes shows to go up. So it's already going up some on the 30 minute, and since the 1 hour shows to sell, this will probably come back up and form a red arrow here. Okay, probably form a red arrow there, and then drop again, and it'll drop some, go back up, drop some more. Okay, the 4 hour shows to sell as well. So we can expect overall for the price to be dropping this week. Okay, probably going into the following week, which we look at the map, the calendar here, sorry. We look at the calendar map. We look at the calendar, this coming week is the final week. So the week next week, the following week, is the first week of March, which is non-farm payroll week. So based on the job reports, we're going to see the US dollar rebound. Okay, so definitely not this coming week. This coming week we should see a drop, and then going into March we should see this rebound and come back up. So what do we do for this week? Keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame, and I would look for sell opportunities only. Okay, just because the US dollar should be going down this week. If you look at the US dollar versus Japanese yen, now we see here that was more or less in a flat range of market, and the price ended pretty much where it began. So US dollar is definitely wanting to go up, but like I said, it's just not that strong right now. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we have a signal to sell. Okay, so almost like we just saw with the US dollar versus Swiss franc, this one should be dropping this week overall. If we look at the daily chart, it shows the sell, and the weekly chart, I know, shows the buy. So this is a fresh signal. Okay, it was not there last week. So what that means is that this US dollar is going to be dropping. Okay, overall, US dollar should be dropping across all the pairs. Okay, this week. Now, like I said, going into March, we should see it rebound and come back up. And like I've been saying for a while, it's going to be a long, slow process for the US dollar to rebound and make an uptrend. But it is definitely making its way up. As you can see here on the 4-hour chart, we had a big uptrend. Okay, from here to there, you know, is 2,800 points. That's a huge gain. All right, not tremendous, but a pretty good gain for, you know, for that period of time, like a 2-week, almost 3-week period of time. So that was a slow process going uphill, and now we're at a pretty solid resistance and it's dropping. Okay, so what do we do for this week? Okay, this week is already dropping. Okay, it's already dropping for the last several days. So if you keep your charts on the 30-minute time frame, again, I would look for sell opportunities only. Okay, on the US dollar, Japanese yen. Moving on to the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar here, what we see again is another almost a flat range of market where the price ended slightly lower than where it began, but the price did surge up and then back down again. So the US dollar is not that strong, okay? And that's why I was saying that in the beginning of the video, US dollar is definitely not that strong based on what we're seeing right here. If it can beat the Canadian dollar, we're going to see a strong increase, okay? Now, look right here in the 4-hour chart as a signal to buy. Okay, that's because it hit the same level of support it hit here. Okay, so it should be going up this week. I don't know. Look at the daily chart; it shows the buy, and weekly chart shows the buy. Okay, so we are at a very solid level of support. Will it be going to uptrend? I don't think so. I don't know. How we can tell it's going to uptrend is to draw a trend line like this. Mark your resistance. Okay, you got 1, 2, 3 points there. So you mark your resistance. Once that breaks, then we'll be in an uptrend. And this is on the 4-hour chart. So it's going to take some time. It's going to take probably at least another week before we see this going to an uptrend. So what do we do for this coming week? Okay, that is the big question. So for the US dollar versus Canadian dollar, I feel since it's at a solid level of support, it should be going back up, then back down. So it should be safe to both buy and sell. I know the other previous two I said to sell only, but this one here, I think we can both buy and sell. Okay, because you know they're both of these are fighting neck and neck, and the US dollar did drop quite a bit, and whatever goes down comes back up, and vice versa. So now it's starting to go back up again, but it'll go back up a ways and then back down, back up, back down. Eventually, it's gonna break this trend line and form an uptrend and go up long term, but that's gonna take a few weeks, okay, at best. So definitely this week we could both buy and sell using a 30-minute time frame. So open a trade on one arrow, close it on the opposite, and then repeat that process. Okay, so if you have any questions about this trade predictions, or if you need me to analyze any other currency pair, okay, please feel free to hit me up on Facebook. There is a link below in the description of this video for my personal Facebook. Okay, please contact me there first. Also, there is a link for my private Facebook group. Okay, and you can request it on my Facebook group and post any questions or comments in my Facebook group. Okay, this way myself or other traders, we can assist you and we can all collaborate as a team. That is my whole goal and purpose of having this Facebook group. Okay, so with that said, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Let me know how I can help you. Okay, thank you so much.